Welcome to another week of On the Job. This week we welcome Austin to the show. Austin helps run The Real Seal, a foundation and waterproofing company. This week we have an awesome chat about how Austin has been able to manage things throughout the pandemic. Not only that, Austin shares some great tips that's helping his customers leave awesome reviews, his sales guys coming back every day happier than ever, and his sales rates are through the roof. And the thing is, you probably already have this tip and it's free. Let's get into it. On the Job is an ArcSight Media production. ArcSight is the fastest growing 2D CAD application on the market. With ArcSight, it makes it easy to create professional CAD floor plans from anywhere. The best part is you don't need years of experience to use ArcSight. In just minutes, you can create impressive site drawings that will help impress your customers, close more deals, and beat your competition. That's not all. ArcSight offers takeoff and estimate features that will help you close deals on the spot. All you have to do is load in your company's products into the app, drag them into your site drawings, and ArcSight automatically calculates your proposal based on the items you added to the drawing. It's that easy. Learn more today at arcsightApp.com/onthejob. Or head to the Apple App Store and start a 14-day trial today. First of all, Austin, thank you so much for coming. I know we had a couple back and forths with my emails, but we made it here, and I appreciate you for still wanting to come on.
Yeah, happy to help, and happy to be here.
Awesome. So welcome to On the Job. We're helping contractors, estimators, people who are out there in the field, and people who manage those people, with a couple tips from the trade. So if you can maybe just start with, what does a day in the life look like for you? I know you're in the realm of what we're talking about here. So, but everyone has a different perspective. So if you can just kind of tee us, what does a day on the job look like for you?
On the job for me is all over the place because we're growing the company. So I'm kind of filling a lot of different hats as I grow up in my own company here and replace myself as we go. But we've got multiple crews running, doing foundation and waterproofing work every single day. So
Great.
I'm coming in and really conversing with the crews, getting them going, and then helping to facilitate the growth of the company through the formation of processes and systems as we really start to grow and build our little section here.
Yeah, busy guy. And I guess I should have started with who you are and your company first a little bit, right? So we have Austin here from The Real Seal. If you just want to give us a quick overview, I mean, you already mentioned you're into some foundation and waterproofing work, but if you want to get into any more detail that you want to share.
A lot of that, I mean, that's pretty much it. Foundation, waterproofing, and polyjacking. We really, our whole motto is building solutions from the ground down. We deal with all the underground foundation slabs and slabs of concrete that we can repair, lift, or waterproof in any way to help make your home more safe, keep its value over the years, and ensure that the value grows with you so you don't lose it.
Wonderful. So one thing that's, at least we've seen a lot of people have interest in, and obviously it's hit everyone. So I want to talk a little bit about like COVID pivots, if you guys have had any, or, obviously everyone has a couple switches they've had to do with their company. Do you have anything that maybe helped you guys out that you'd like to give other people advice on for, how to pivot in this new world that we have?
I mean, it's just all about adapting. You can see behind here, I don't know if you're recording the video, but one of our core values is be adaptive. I mean, the only thing we can guarantee in life are death, change, and taxes. So that's kind of our motto. So we roll with the punches and we have to adapt to everything. I mean, we were hit like everyone with the COVID in April when it all first hit ahead, everything just went silent. But then we got 9 inches of rain in May and the whole thing blew back up. And then before you know it, everyone's working from home, getting stimulus checks or on their unemployment. So they still have money coming in. So they're still fixing their homes, still doing the things they need to do.
Yeah.
The things that really impacted us is when employees would get COVID. That's obviously the hardest part. So I'm in a room alone, so I'm not wearing my mask, but every one of our employees is required to wear masks at all times while on our jobs and in our warehouse and in our vehicles, because we had we had to shut down production for a week at one
Wow.
point because like 4 or 5 guys got COVID. I was just like, send everyone home, get tested, get quarantined, and come back. And so we have a new policy in place now. So if anyone even has the sniffles, you go get a COVID test, bring us a negative test to come back to work, because we got to keep everyone floating, got to keep everyone working, and got to keep everyone safe.
Yeah, that's another way to look at it too, outside of just adapting to like the climate, but just like your staffing. I mean, that's huge. If you lose one guy to COVID and he comes in the next day, and then you have four other guys who can't be on the job anymore, that's got to be tough. But it sounds like now
Yeah.
you ironed out a pretty good system now.
We've got a good system now. So since we had to shut the production down that first time, we haven't had to shut it down since. And it's only odds and ends. You know, when someone is feeling sick, they go to test. They don't have it, or they were around someone who had it, so they have to quarantine for 10 days. So we've got a great system of keeping also the office personnel so they can work at home if they need to.
Mhm.
And we've been able to adapt to, like a lot of companies. We found out that a few of our jobs in here you can do from home, and if it helps for both the employees and us, I don't really mind, as long as it keeps everyone safe and keeps us all productive.
Well put. Yeah, I think that's an awesome insight there. So to shift way away from that, because I mean it's only so depressing talking about COVID. A big thing we like to touch on these episodes is marketing trends. So I don't know how much of that you're doing over there, but maybe there's some that you've seen that excite you. So I noticed you guys have a pretty great YouTube channel for one.
Mhm.
You're pretty active on there. So um, and this is a total like take this question wherever you want, but are there any marketing trends that you're excited about that have maybe helped your business that you can offer advice to someone else who might not be using these tips?
Oh yeah, I mean, the way we see marketing is education. Really, our goal isn't to just get people to call us so they can spend money. That's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is educate all of our consumers in the industry so that they know what they need to do, they understand their problem and the possible solutions, and then they can choose who they want to use from there. One of the things I think that differentiates us is we have transparent pricing on our website. So
Okay.
if you, and like you said, that whole series of YouTube videos. So
Hmm.
if you want to like diagnose this yourself, WebMD style, we
Yeah. Yeah.
provide you all the resources on our website to do so. So you even have a handle of what's going on before we get out there. And
Hmm.
then you can see what it looks like with our crews doing it on actual work on actual customers.
Yeah.
And our whole thing is transparency. We just want to show people who we are and put a bigger and bigger spotlight on us every single angle, every single corner. There's nothing we hide.
Yeah. Do you find that that's one of the key things that might set you apart from the competition is the transparency? Because I feel like in the realm that, I'm just gonna say contractor as like an overarching term, but like in the contractor realm, it's hard for some people to adapt to this new like, I would from a marketing background say like the inbound strategy where you
Mhm.
give away free information and then they're so grateful that you helped them out that eventually they come back to you because you are that wealth of information, right? And
Right.
it's hard to adapt that into the contracting space, but it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing and it's working. But have you seen
Right.
people like it's hard to like see that from the contracting perspective is what I guess I'm trying to touch on. And have you seen that, and did it take you guys a while to ever find that balance, or did you know like right away?
Well, like you said, it's more of a perspective on how you view every issue and every department in the company. So we're coming from a perspective of wanting to educate and help. So every decision made based off of that supports that goal. So, we started when I originally started the company, it was quite honestly, I was sick of working for other people.
Mm,
I had every bad boss you could name. Was that movie Bad Bosses? Yeah, I
yeah.
could make one of my own on that. UPS, IDOT, Jewel. I had all the real fun jobs where bosses really just did not care, right, and did their best to disparage, discourage, or otherwise just not help you. And so our whole goal when we started this was to create a different sort of environment, a different sort of perspective so that we could not only enjoy the jobs we're in, but all of our coworkers could enjoy the jobs we're in, and none of us have bad bosses. And
Yeah.
that's super, super big for us here. No bad bosses.
That's great. And that energy transmits throughout. Like something you see outside of like the contractor realm is like this shift to like working from home, for instance. Like I
Mhm.
think what a lot of people are finding is when people can like do their job on their own time, they're almost more productive. So that same sort of thing of like if you give the people the freedom to like do their job their own way and If you could just be a friendly human being, might be the underlining statement there. But it really is that easy, isn't it?
Have a positive attitude. That's our number one core value. You'd be
Boom.
surprised how easy things are to solve when you're not looking at them like they're just big, stinking, ugly problems.
Sure.
And so we just like to approach it from that perspective and try to be as positive as you can.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's working. So that's awesome. So yeah, that's awesome. So I want to talk about like marketing trends and now shift that to strictly just generating leads. I feel like, if we had a bottom line, goal of like business driving traffic or whatever you want to call it, but
Mm-hmm.
do you have a specific trend that you would say works the best for driving leads specifically? I mean, so for instance, just to give you a background, the last recording I did, he totally flipped that question on its head and said he doesn't rely on like ads or anything like that. It's all about outbound sales where his guys just calls, follows up, find the well of leads, he would say. So he had a great insight on, I would call the realtors who can then, every time they see a bad foundation issue, call the number one person to recommend it is Real Seal, would say. So
Right.
whenever he's showing a home, well, you could still buy it. I know a great foundation guy. That's where he's getting his leads. So like, do you have
Right.
any?
So we're
Yeah.
kind of opposite on that one.
Okay.
We don't do inspections if you don't own the home.
Oh,
And for, even though it can be a good source of income, it is not following that perspective I just detailed to you about education and doing the right thing for the customer. Because when you're buying a home and you have someone come in to look at an issue, what are you trying to do? Trying to knock down the price of that home, aren't you?
yes. Yeah, exactly.
And when you're selling your home and the buyer brings in a contractor, how do you feel about that contractor who is going to give a price that the buyer is then going to use to knock down your home?
Not great. No, I
Not
guess.
really the perspective we're looking for, is it? It kind of
Yeah.
puts us in a lose-lose situation. And we're not there to help people negotiate down prices of homes.
Okay.
We're there to educate you on problems and the solutions you need to utilize in order to fix those homes.
Yeah.
So instead of we used to charge for those, and we just last year outright dropped them because we realized it wasn't helping our customers and it
Mm,
wasn't fostering a good reputation for us, and it was us just trying to chase work, and we don't do that.
gotcha.
So the way we like to generate leads is through reputation. We like to do really well for our customers and generate referrals from them,
Great.
generate business from the reviews they leave online because we're doing so well for them, and generate just goodwill throughout the industry. Because if you do good, trust transfers and the word will spread. And there could be 1,000 of our kind of contractors in the area, but if we treat our employees well and we treat our customers well and we do right by both of them, we will grow. And
That's
that's
great.
our perspective.
Yeah. So are you using any tools to help drive more reviews, or is it just man on the street every time you do a job that's follow up? Like, is there any like email responders or things that you can recommend to someone? Like, do you
We
automate
don't
any of that, or is it just, hey, by the way, please leave us a review, and since you did such a good job, it happens?
if whenever you're asking someone if they did a good job to leave a review, ask them to share their experience and they'll definitely type a lot more words into it.
Okay.
But no, we don't use any tools or generators or programs for the reviews. To us, we can tie every single review on every single platform to an account on our CRM system, every single one. I don't want a single fake review. I don't want a single forced or coerced review. I
Yeah.
want any of the feedback that we find or customers find online to be absolutely genuine. And if someone were to ever call us out on it, I want to point it out and show them where it's from.
Okay.
We have a lot of companies in the area who have been caught writing fake reviews for themselves.
Gross.
And we want to be a shining example of what to be.
Okay.
And that is the honest transparency perspective that we have. Like I said in the beginning, the perspective is just a different perspective and a different approach. We're not trying to just make money. We're trying to make a difference.
All right. I love it. I feel like that's the overarching theme, and it's like it's bleeding throughout Real Seal, and it's a great theme.
Yeah, I mean, if you do right things will happen. I mean, just
And
do
it's that
good.
and it's hard to, I mean, encapsulate the entire business mentality, but I think that's not just in like foundation or contracting world. That's just in living your life,
And living you could
Yeah,
use that as life advice, but it gets hard. Things get emotional, money gets involved, people get involved, it's never smooth sailing, but as long as you keep your eye on the end goal and the right perspective in mind to take care of people, you'll end up on top.
beautiful. Awesome. Now I got a couple more questions here, and then I'll give you your Friday back here.
Cool, no worries.
Great. So another thing that I'm super interested in, and I think the world of technology around, the contractor industry is just booming. There's a new software out there every day. People are in your position are probably bombarded with, new ideas and technology. What are some core technologies that you found that are, vital to your business? Like even just like a great CRM that you're using, or I
Mhm.
know I don't want to put ArcSight in your mouth at all because they're sponsoring the podcast, but that's not the goal here. But if that's part of it, you can just talk like a drawing tool or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, what kind of technology have been pretty great for you?
The CRM was a huge game changer. Like you had mentioned, you have to have a good CRM. I mean, we
Yeah,
used to use Google everything for it and post-it notes and all that when we first
sure.
started, but you have to graduate. So we use Market Sharp and we love it. It's just having a tool that puts everything in one place where it's easy to find and easy to transfer the information so that it's, again, one of our other things, communicate clearly, to be able to be
We're
sure
just
that
going
we
down
can.
the list.
Oh, every single, I could come up with examples for every one of these. We went through a very long process to come up with these, and this is what we found is the measure for our success.
Gorgeous.
So that CRM system is definitely a huge game changer. We just recently got into that CAD drawing tool using ArcSight. We absolutely love it.
Cool.
It has already been, the big thing about it is it keeps everything consistent, and that's what the thing is with the Market Sharp as well. The CRM is
Yeah.
consistency. If you're doing the same thing over and over, you can measure data, you can make decisions on that data. If you're haphazardly making decisions and doing this for one customer and this for another and this pricing for this guy and this different pricing for him,
Yeah.
that's a lot to remember. It's kind of like that phrase, you don't have to remember anything if you always tell the truth. And so we like to keep it consistent for the exact same reason,
Yeah.
so that we always know what's going on. We have the same standard for every single person. And that's what the two big pieces of the technology that are helping now are the CAD drawing and the CRM, because it
Great.
just makes sure that everyone has the same version of what happened.
That's wonderful. And then I want to speak to like the problems that it solved outside of consistency. One thing I'm super interested in because it's like a side benefit from adaptive new technology that just like really has my interest lately is like hiring and training new people and getting them up to speed faster. Do you find that these technologies are key to helping that, or has it not really been? Because I've heard it both ways, but I know one gentleman I talked to who just said, man, having what you said, the consistent, the everything repeatable and everything is like so easy to teach because you can just show them, hey, this is how it's done because I have
Right.
6 other people who do it this way.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, is that consistency when you train people. And this consistency of the CRM and the CAD drawing is great, but there's also a little roadblock.
Mm.
It's technology. And while you and I probably grew up with this stuff, playing that monkey game, throwing bananas at each other on the computer in the 80s and stuff, like we grew up with technology. So if you hand me a piece of technology, I can figure it out. Some of the older people that we get in here, it's a bit more of a learning curve getting it. So you've got a bit of a hump right away when you have all this technology that people aren't used to.
Yeah.
So you have this immediate hump of getting over, but once you do and they get used to it, it's just smooth sailing from there on, because the technology really alleviates a lot of the work and a
Mm.
lot of the remembering they have to do. You keep all
Yeah.
your notes, everything's in place. You just have to go back, click it, and see what happened.
Yeah. Are there how do you talk to like maybe not an employee, but how would you talk to someone who is so resistant to change, which I think is so prominent in this industry of just like, hey, we've been doing it for 30 years this way and it's fine. Like
I
they
talk to them
know
like they're dead. Like, quite honestly, like, you talk to them like they're dead, because that's where they're headed.
Okay.
I mean, show me your phone. Pull your phone out right now. That doesn't look like those big block car phones we used to first got, does it?
Not
Your
really.
car. Do you have a horse-drawn carriage?
Not anymore. Just sold it.
No, nope. We change with technology all the time. Every single aspect of our lives. It's kind of hypocritical when we are like, oh, let's get the new phone and the new technology, but I won't use that new technology for my business. I've been doing this for 30 years. Those old bosses I told you about, I had one guy tell me, I've been doing this for 35 years. I told him, you've been doing it wrong for 35 years.
Yeah.
There's always things you can do to improve. And the big thing about us here is like, we're not trying to just do it our way. We're trying to find the best ways and then adopt them to ourselves. So we're always changing, always growing, and always trying to improve. And if you're not, you're dying.
Wow, man, you should host this. You're doing a better job. This is fantastic. So I just have one last question to wrap it up. It's a little more of a fun, I guess you'd call it, but what's in your truck? If you're out on your field, you're going job to job, whether it's your van, your truck, your car, what's something that you always have with you?
Flashlight.
Okay.
Booties, plastic booty, shoe covers.
Yeah.
And since I don't have Bluetooth, I got an old truck because I haven't upgraded my truck yet. I always have something to be able to listen to the books that I listen to when I'm in the car. So I have either have an audio cable or there's this there's a car cigarette lighter charger deal that you can put in there that will Bluetooth to your phone and then hits it on a radio station that's not being used.
I had one of the same things in my old car before I got a new one. It was a lifesaver. I loved it.
Oh yeah. So I got to be able to listen to books when I'm driving. You need a flashlight to see stuff because you're always in dark places, and you need booties so that you can cover your dirty feet when you get into someone's house.
Wonderful. That was great. So Austin, that's all I really have for you. I guess one last chance to, hopefully we'll have a decent audience. Is there anything you want to share with them? Anything you want to out other than, hey, check out Real Seal. There's some great videos on YouTube, at least, that I know I enjoyed. And, anything else you want to share?
I'd encourage anyone who's looking to improve and learn to reach out to people in their industry in non-competing areas in another state, join an association, go ask. We have grown tremendously by reaching out to people who are in California, Arizona, places that we will never be, and asking them how they did it and learning from them. We're not trying to recreate the wheel. We're not trying to reinvent something. We're just trying to improve upon what's there before. And you don't know what's there before unless you go ask. And so I would just say, go out and ask and get as much info as you can. There's no need for you to do it all yourself.
I mean, again, you should host this thing. That was wonderful. Austin, again, thank you for your time. Hopefully this was short and sweet, and I enjoyed my time, and hopefully we can talk again.
Yeah, sounds good. Let me know anytime. And it was great talking with you, Larry. Thank you much.
All right. Thanks again, Austin. I'll see you.
All right. See you.
Bye. That's it for On the Job this week. You can learn more at arcsiteapp.com/onthejob. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next week.